Good morning, guitar peeps. Let's go post our link on the website. No, not Jolly. Our website is denverguitarorchestra.com. I'm trying to remember what I'm supposed to be teaching here today. denverguitarorchestra.com. All of the sheet music is posted on that website. We do we technically do 4 levels. We do during the week, we do levels 1, 2, and 3. And so once you figure out, hey, I can play all this music like nobody's business, then you don't need to come to the weekday class. And then on Thursday nights, we do a level 4 class with super difficult, super fancy, whatever. And so obviously the toolbox and the things that you need to know to play in this particular style happens Monday through Friday, daytime class, and then the put up or shut up class is Thursday nights. And we play classical and fingerstyle and a little bit of folk style. So we sort of mix it up, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Sometimes I use a nylon string guitar, or sometimes I use a metal string guitar. We always use an acoustic guitar. That's the one thing that never changes. Electric guitar is played in a different way for different purposes. And so you've got great resources for that on YouTube. And let's see, what else do we do? Oh, every day when I come in, I also tweet our class. And so that has resulted in no significant changes in anything we do. And it makes me laugh that I tweet now, denverguitarorchestra.com. Had a Twitter account forever, but basically it doesn't get used for much. And my little face has not been popping up. I used to have it where it would just magically pop up. But so maybe I need to add in, I'll put a picture of, I don't know what I'll just start doing. Maybe I'll have a little, if a picture doesn't pop up, I'll add a picture to it. That's what I'll start doing. All right, let's see who's made it in so far today. Vic is in already. She says the sound is good. And we are today working on, I did, by the way, I didn't shave and I didn't put my hair goop in. So I have a beauty appointment at 2:30 today. And so my plan was to just be as ugly as possible until I get to my beauty appointment. And then he'll turn me into, one of those supermodel people. And so that's the plan. It says we changed we changed the Amazon password, and all of my computers are now freaking out. Like, what the heck, man? We can't get an Amazon. Stop everything. So, how is he? I have a ukulele, and you help me to learn some songs. Glad you're here. Delighted to have you. I'm going to pronounce your name Mihalo. I'll say Mihalo. Glad you're here. The system we use for guitar is the same exact system we use for ukulele. The difference with guitar is that you have 2 extra strings, and the chords are really much more challenging to hold and to create. The instrument is harder to hold and play. There are obviously some benefits to working that hard when you're playing an instrument, but not necessarily. And so you'll decide, right? Sit down, hang out with us today, find out, and you're like, yeah, is this worth it or not? A lot of people have a guitar at their house that they never really learned to play, and so they're like, well, I'm sitting around the house these days anyway. Maybe I'll pull that guitar out and give it a try. And so the process we use for the ukulele class, which is to learn our chords, learn how to play the melody, and then combine those two into the tough program, is identical. It's the ukulele is much easier instrument to hold, and the chords are the frets are closer together, so usually the chording is much easier to do, and which means you can do some crazier chording because things are close. On guitar, we have a more limited things we can do with our left hand. But we have 2 extra strings, so we get that nice deep bass sound, which almost everybody loves. And so there's that. During the guitar class, we've been doing it level 1, which is for brand new players. We do the same song all week long. So if you're like brand new to guitar, you might want to go listen to the lessons from last week. That's when we cover all of the intro stuff. But if you've been playing with me on ukulele, you already know how to read tablature. So that may not be necessary. So every day during the week, we do the same level 1 song, and then we have every day we have one song from level 2 and one song from level 3, and that way those players who are advancing can kind of be working on all of those tools and putting them together. There's a significant difference between level 1 and level 2. Between level 2 and level 3, you've already got all your tools. All your tools show up in level 2. Level 3, what we have there is just better songs, more complicated chords arrangements. Everything still makes sense in level 3. And then on Thursday nights is when we dive into level 4. And that's when we do more modern songs and more difficult songs and stuff that makes no sense whatsoever and is super hard and can be unpleasant to play, perfectly honest. And so that's Thursday nights, and that will give you a sense of what's going on there. Level 4, we take off all restrictor plates, right? Level 4 is whatever the song is, it is. Levels 1, 2, and 3, I've sort of curated songs that I haven't dumbed them down in any way. Well, I think that's probably fair to say. I haven't dumbed them down, but they need to be songs that make sense and are fun to play and somewhat instructional. Obviously, levels 1 and 2 particularly are instructional. So that's what's going on guitar-wise. Again, I play with a plastic string guitar sometimes and a metal string guitar sometimes. I don't think it matters what guitar you have. I just know, generally speaking, the guitar you have is not the best choice. This guitar is the guitar I have. It's a little too big for me. It's a full-size classical guitar. I have 2 of them, so I feel like I have to play them. But in a better world, somebody would have sat me down and said, you know what, you should be playing a 7/8 size guitar because these are going to be huge stretches and you're going to miss your 5s all of the time. So, and a lot of people, have bought a guitar in the 70s and they've decided, well, it's pandemic, I'll pull it out and I'll play it. It was probably a folk guitar. And so there's that. Pauline, welcome in. Good to see you. Evelyn is here. She's in from Cuenca. And Elizabeth is in from Greeley, Northern Colorado. Vic is in from Eugene, and Mihalo, I don't know where you're from, so if you want to let us know, that'd be awesome. All right, let's get going. We got a big group today. We're going to be playing 3 tunes. So the first one is level 1. This is Thursday. Oh my gosh, it's Thursday. So I'd like to play through Brother John in the 3 ways without talking about it a lot. And then I'd like to dig into the other 2 songs a little more deeply today. So if you have missed the previous lessons from this week, they're all still on the front page of the website. That's how I'm going to start doing things, is leaving each week. I'm going to leave all the links on the front page. And then at the end of the week, then I'll move them all over into the archive. That way, if you miss a day, it's easier for you to figure out where we're at and what songs we're playing. All right, so first thing, level 1 players. I just had a Zoom class last night with brand new level 1 players for our local. I teach for the city of Lakewood, and so I got a chance to meet with a bunch of brand new guitar players, and we had a good time. Two biggest things on when you're new is making sure you're holding the guitar properly, right? It should be 45, 50, 60 degree angle. This should be up. This should not be this way, right? And that your thumb is behind the neck. That's number 1. I spend about a third of the class just talking about how to hold the guitar properly, because it's not the way we tend to think about it. The second issue is how to tune your guitar. E, A, D, G, B, E. Eddie, A, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie, and we covered all that last week on our. So if that's still kind of new information, go check Monday's class from last week, January 4th, I think, and all that stuff is covered there. Next, once you're set up properly and tuned in properly, I like to play the chords first. This chord what are we on? Are we on Frère Jacques today or Brother John? I think we're on Frère Jacques. Let me go when I said we were going to play. We're playing Frère Jacques today. So it's page, if you have the book, it's page 11. And if you don't have the book, you have already printed it out as a separate sheet of paper. I kind of think that printing them out as separate sheets of paper makes more sense anyway. So we're on an A chord, index finger, middle finger, ring finger. Okay, leave the bottom string open, top 2 strings are open, and let's play through it twice, guys. First time through, I'm going to play with my thumb. Second time through, I'm going to play with. Thank you, Elizabeth. In my mind, there's a huge difference between Frère Jacques and Brother John, and that's why sometimes I'm like, oh God, I gotta get it right. All right, so here we go. From the top, first time through, I'm gonna play with my thumb. The second time through, I'm gonna pluck like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John? Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. And let it ride. Okay. Right now, two main thoughts. I'm holding an A chord. I'm memorizing A chord. Last week we memorized what E chord feels like. This week we're memorizing what A chord feels like. Those two chords are coming up every single day you play. You play. What am I playing today? Every single day you play guitar, those two chord shapes are coming up. So make sure you just commit them to memory. Okay. And the real thing we're working on is making sure you have 4 beats in every measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. No matter what's going on in the melody, you're also the drummer when you're strumming, and so you're 1, 2, 3, 4, and you never change that through the whole song until the very last measure, of course. And then the other technique we're working on is one type of strum pattern, and then also using 4 fingers to pluck. This needs to get where this feels very, very comfortable for you, because as we get into tough acts more and more, it gets more and more essential for you to be able to play both this way and this way. And so we will be working on that for the rest of your time in guitar, probably. Now, let's play the melody. As we've discussed on Brother John from last week, it's easiest to play positionally. So you're playing one note and you're playing it positionally up and down the neck. On this song, on this arrangement, we're playing in the key of A, and it makes a lot of sense to grab your A chord to play these notes. That way you're covering almost every note you need to play. There'll be a time when you need to really lift up your ring finger. There'll be a time you need to move your ring finger forward, and there'll be a time when you need to drop your ring finger down here. Otherwise, it's all... these 2 fingers will never need to move, and you'll be ready to play those notes. Melody only. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 from the top. 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, beautiful little tune. Got a lot of motion in it, and it actually feels good. I like it a lot. And I like the fact that I can play the whole song with just holding one chord and then making some minor modifications with my ring finger. And the whole thing comes together quite lovely. Those of you who are in book 1, don't worry about tough acts. Just listen, because this is the way you're going to be playing 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now. Those of the rest of you guys, let's hear it. Let's do the first time through with plucking. And okay, thanks, Mahalo. Good to see you. So do your plucking here, and then the second time through, let's play with the thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. thumb. Adding in a few fancies along the way. All right, so get two different textures. One feels plucky, the other feels strummy. And then obviously when you get ready to present a song to somebody, they say, hey, play me something. You can kind of decide which way sounds best. If you play Frère, Jacques, honestly, really solid, people don't know it's Frère Jacques, and they'll be like, oh, that sounds really nice. And really all you're doing is having to move your ring finger around a little bit. All right, next song on our list this week, or today, Itsy Bitsy Spider. Okay, I'm not positive what we're going to be learning here. I didn't look at it before class, so let's go take a look and see what Itsy Bitsy Spider is going to offer us. One of the things I talk to people about from time to time is, hey, you're playing kids songs. That seems below you. That's not really necessarily true. It's the tools that we are needing to play, and the tools in these goofy little songs are going to make you a great guitarist. And so just learning these here is the way to go. I would say once you have those tools, then obviously use those on more advanced music. And then the other thing I think that comes up, once you get to be a decent guitar player, it will not be very long. When people, one, they figure out you are a guitar player, and two, it will be pretty soon before somebody says, hey, my seventh grader wants to learn how to play guitar, or I want to learn how to play guitar, and pretty soon you end up teaching it. And so having these kinds of things where you just grab Gary's sheet music, sit down and teach this stuff, you already know how to do it. And so be mindful as we're talking about playing the song. We're sort of talking about how to play the song, but really we're talking about what strategies would you use to teach the song, and because it won't be very long before you have to do that. Get to do it. And when the opportunity arises, don't say no. Say, hey, I am just learning on this stuff myself. I don't know if I'm going to be a great teacher or not. And inevitably they'll be like, well, you're not going to charge me, are you? Or you decide, yeah, I'm going to charge you $500 a lesson. And if they say yes, then you really got something going on. But yeah, don't shy around. You got a good program here that works, so why not just share it? All right, Itsy Bitsy Spider, G chord. Problem is D7, you got to pull everybody up, move way over here, put it down, and then you got to pull everybody up and move way back over here. Okay, so G, I don't put a ton of stuff in the key of G because of that. The three chords in the key of G are G, then to C, then to D7, back to G. Well, there's all so much motion on there that it's a lot of times it's like, I could just put this in A and I won't have to do any of that. So the key of G, while it sounds beautiful on guitar and lots of cowboys use the key of G, I don't necessarily know if, generally speaking, it's my first choice. I know for sure it's not my first choice of keys to sing in. Or to put a song into. Let's go through it one time just with the chords and make sure we know how the song goes. 1, 2. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Okay, and we're in 6/8 time. Important to know, when you see 6/8 time, you're probably going to strum it in 2. Probably. You could do it in 6. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Now I'm strumming in 6. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. that's not for me, right? But it might be if you got your two grandkids are over, or your next door neighbor's kids, you're babysitting them. You're sitting out on the back patio. It's 80 degrees out, and you're just trying to make time go by. I might do a kid song in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of energy. If I'm playing outside, I want the volume to be louder, so I will tend to do more of that type of strumming. If I'm sitting in my basement and it's just me, I'm not going to do that. It seems a little too exciting for me. So I'm probably going to go to 2. The Itsy Bitsy spider went up the water spout. And when I'm learning a song, if this is a new song to me, I'm for sure plucking it, and I'm for sure plucking into the Itsy Bitsy spider went up the water spout. All right, that helps me find my beats and find how I would arrange the notes in my head, so that when I get ready to play the melody, I've got a pretty good idea of how everything is going to work out from a beat perspective. Now, there are a handful of songs when they're in 6/8 that you actually will count in 3/4. Greensleeves comes to mind, but it depends on the arrangement and this sort of thing. So typically 6/8, we either count it as 6 or we count it as 2. Pretty rare when we count it as a 3-beat pattern. Harry Potter's the intro to Harry Potter's Hedwig's theme is another one of those that you could make an argument for counting it in 3. It doesn't work very well. It's much better to be in 6. Okay, melody. This song is such a bummer, right? It starts on a 4. Remember, this is sort of a rule. Pinky fingers always play the 4s, always, even when they're way up here on 4. And the main reason is if you don't do that, then the rest of your hand is going to end up getting pulled out of position by using your ring finger. So really talk yourself into saying, I hate using 4s, my pinky on the 4s, but Gary says I should do it, and I'm going to make myself do it. Okay, so let's do that. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah, not everybody, almost everybody knows that tune. So you want to get it pretty clean. Okay. Next thing, let's look at the tough axe. This is not an easy song to play on tough axe. Okay, so I'm grabbing my G chord here, and I see I've arranged it as 2, 0, 0, and then I got a 4 first, right? So I got to hit that 4. Okay, 4 on 4. And then I'm already holding my G chord. So it's a weird beginning to start off with. A lot of kid songs will do that to you. They don't necessarily always follow our what we would expect in music or on guitar. And so this gives you a little bit of like a what? So it's a 4 and then the G chord. But yeah, I didn't put the top string on. I don't know why. You could. It feels a little heavy if you do. Hit the 0 and hit the 2, 0, 0 again. And then you're going to go grab this 2. You're just going to have to use your index finger. And then 3 zeros in the middle. Make your D7, and then that solves all the other problems. Middle finger up. Play that. Index finger up. And then back to these 2 zeros. A couple of decorative notes. Then some zeros. 1 and then the 3. Put your D7 on. Go grab that 2. I'm using my ring finger to grab the other 2. And then zeros. D7 on. Middle finger up. Put it back. Index finger up. Page 2. 200. Big key over there on 4 and then 200 again. I'm using my ring finger to get to that too. 3 zeros. D7. Middle finger up. Back. Index finger up. And then 2 zeros. Hit that 4 to do your repeat. And so then let's go through and talk about it as a plucker. Okay. Same exact things you're going to hold on your left hand, but now change it to your claw and see how it sounds. Okay. For some of you, it'll be better. For some of you, it's much worse. Okay. 1. Let me sit back a little bit so my hands are visible. 1, 2. I didn't grab my G chord to get started with. Here we go. Let me start from the top. I don't know what. I should practice, right? Here we go. Go. Much more challenging because you've got to be focusing on which strings to be on here, and so the claw position actually gives you pretty good workout on needing to be paying attention to what's going on over here and what's going on over here. So if I'm learning the song, I'm probably taking this as, all right, I'm strumming it first through, trying to really talk myself into following some rules over here on my left hand. Once I have those rules in place, then I'm going to go back and start working on it as a plucker, and I think you end up with a nice tune. Let's play one last time. Pick your poison. If you want to play with this, if you want to play with the thumb, perfectly fine. And then also, if this is still not in your wheelhouse yet, just play the melody. Right, the melody is incredibly difficult here. And again, when you're starting on 4 all right, that can be really hard, and that shows back up. But one more time in the middle of the song, and you're like, there's that stupid 4 again. I know when I came back to guitar, this was my nemesis. 4 that and C chord. On ukulele, a C chord's right here, right, and it's just lovely. But on guitar, you got to be all stretched out and weird, and so it takes a lot of more work. Okay, so pick your poison any way you want to play Itsy Bitsy Spider from the top. 1, 2. Wrap it up. Okay. if you've been around a little while, you also know you have this G chord, right, where ring and pinky are there, and you get a little bit of punch at the end. A little bit bigger, a little bit more treble-y sound. Sounds a little bit more complete, a little bit more like bum, right? And then the spider is saved magically by your guitar playing, and off the spider goes to bite you in the garage. Okay, Itsy Bitsy Spider. Oh, and on the arpeggio here, I do have an arpeggio on here at the bottom, and I gave you P-I-M-A-M-I. It's a classical guitar skill. So P-I-M-A, P-I-M-A. For those of us in English, it's thumb, index, middle, ring, and in Spanish, it's, I'm going to get it wrong, pulgar, índice, medio, annular, I think. P-I-M-A. You see that in classical guitar notation. You'll see it in lots of notation because it's such a standard. We don't use this guy. If you include ultra high level contemporary music, they'll use this guy, and it's called C. And I don't always remember what C stands for. P-I-M-A. C. You'll never use C, hopefully, because the kind of music that requires C is unlistenable, and so this is for college people to do that finger. The rest of us are going to use these four fingers. So P-I-M-A-M-I is what's being explained there, and then you're just holding the chord. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. That's what's going on there. Sounds really pretty. If you're a singer, for sure you want to study that. All right, finally, our song of the day is for Elise, possibly one of the greatest songs ever written. And it works quite well on guitar. So let me find it here in my books. I've changed enough things in the books now that my books no longer make any sense from compared to the individual sheets out on the thing. So let's go through and talk about how I would approach for Elise. So the first thing when I do pretty much any song is I look for my chords, okay? And I've got E minor. Oh, I like that. Okay? That's why we play guitar is E minor. It's beautiful. Okay? And then I'm going to go to B7. Isn't that beautiful? And back to E minor. Now, when you see Beethoven, it is not uncommon at all for him to have the very simple, straightforward music theory 101 type chord structure. And that's what's going on here. You've got your main chord and its best friend and back. That's all he's doing on page 1. Okay. On page 2, he's going to add in some E minor's other best friends. Okay, so you come out of that E minor. Now, the relative major to E minor is G. So then he's going to switch to this idea. And its best friend, G's best friend, is D. Okay, and then he's going to take us back into the original. Just using those two chords as sort of a bridge, basically. And that's going to be the harder part of the song to play. And then he goes right back into the main idea. Okay. So you've only got 4 chords. And where the challenge of this song will be is in the 2 chords that are weird, G and D. They're not weird. They fit in. They're musically important. They make perfect sense from a music theory perspective, but in terms of playing it, you can tell right now, hey, there's only 2 chords that are different, and that's going to be where my challenge is. And as I'm looking at my sheet music right now, I have all kinds of notes about which fingers to use there, changes, all this alterations that I'm going to be thinking about. I have no notes anywhere else on the paper. So that tells you that when you're playing in a key and all of a sudden a couple of weird chords sneak in, that's where you're going to end up probably putting most of your energy. All right, so since there's no lyrics, there's no point in playing the chords, but do know that those are your 4 chords, and that if I'm thinking about E minor, F, G, A, B, B minor, or B7 in this case, best friends, okay? All right, let's talk the melody, and then we'll talk about what's different in the tough acts. Okay, so starting on 7, I tend to, if I see a 7, I tend to go into fifth position, because now I've got my index finger, which I have a lot of faith in, my middle finger on 6, and my ring finger on 7. I'm pretty confident in there. I could, since 7 is the highest note, go into fourth position, but now I'm using my pinky to play melody with, and he's okay, but he's not great, right? I use him when I have to. Otherwise, I'd much rather use these guys. Okay, so I'm going to put my ring finger on 7, index finger on 5. So fifth position. And what I've got is 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. And then you're going to take your ring over to get to 1. You're going to leave your index finger on 5 up there. And then you're going to slide down probably into second position. Grab your middle finger with that 0. Or to grab the 3. And then lift up. Index finger on 2 probably, and then bounce it over. Well, that's a bad idea, right? That doesn't make any sense. So let's put a middle finger on this 2, and that allows us to get our index finger on the other 2. Okay, so if I'm going through here, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to probably play that 3. I can get away with playing that 3 either with my middle finger. Sorry, I jumped back on you guys. End of measure 1, I'm probably thinking 3. I'd probably go with my middle finger, so that's sort of just telling myself, all right, I'm going to put my middle finger here, and then when I'm ready, I'll just slide that down, and I'm going to use my middle finger on the 2 at the beginning of measure 3. Okay, so let's go just do that little section there from the beginning. Ring finger on 7. 1, 2. Middle finger on 2, index finger on the other 2. Open, pinky on 4, always pinky on 4. And then you've got your ring finger to get to 3 there. That section there is going to show up 3 times in the song, and when you add in repeats, it's going to add up in a lot. Okay, so let's play just that little section there, and you're going to see how it ends up feeling very much the same down below. From the top, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1. Let me count in 2. 1, 2. One more time because I messed it up. From the top, 1, 2. Now, at the end of major 4, the whole idea just repeats again pretty much. So let's play that. Ready, go. Okay, now you gotta grab that 3 with your ring. You're already on the middle finger's never moved, so it's already holding the 2 down. And then the opens. Okay, so not brutal, right? And it's not going to get that much worse when we add in the tough axe notes. So let's play through that just as it was. So we hit that repeat, we go back to the top. Let's play from there, from the pickup to number 1. 1, 2. Let me, sorry. 1, 2. jump the page, right? So you're already looking at the other page while you're finishing up. 3, 2, oh, oh, oh. Now here's where things get a little messy. Since I see a 7 in here, I know I'm probably going to go to 5th position. And once I see the 8, I absolutely know I'm going to be in 5th position. So when I get to that 5, I'm going to jump, which means 2 and 3 don't really matter which fingers you use. So you've got 2, 3, jump to 5, 5th position, and then you're going to hit the 7. And I'm going to use my middle finger on these other 2 7s. Pinky on 8. And now I've left my ring finger here the whole time, so pick it up. Pick up your pinky to get back to the 7. And then I have my index finger sitting on 5, but I see another 5 that I'm going to have to play here. So I can either put a bar on, which I don't necessarily like, or I can just switch out to my middle finger. And now I'm technically playing in 4th position, but I'm really focusing on getting that middle finger here, index finger here, and then my pinky's got to come up to the top to get these 2 7s. And then it's going to roll down, get that other 7. I'm still on my 5, and the index finger down here on 3. And then I'm going to use a pinky for this 5, index finger or middle finger for the 3. Slide down that middle finger again to the 2, because I see the upper 2 coming. So that's the hard section. Let's just play that. Let's do from measure 9 through into 13. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Through the hard part. The rest of this is the same as the beginning. Go up to your 7. These are quarter notes, so don't rush through them. Rest, plunk, plunk, and then a big, beautiful E minor at the end. Okay, really, really nice. Really, really nice. Okay, let's go through and just how are we doing on time? Let's just go through and play through the melody-wise real quick. Just we'll ignore the repeat, okay, and we'll just play the whole thing from top to bottom, just with melody, because this is beautiful. 1, 2. Skip the repeat. Go to page 2. that pretty? That's just, you don't need to put in any tough acts. It's fine. Okay, but talking very quickly through the tough act section, you'll notice. Go back to the top of the page, top of the song. The beginning is the same, da 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 da, and then when you get to those opens, you're going to need to put your middle finger up here on the twos. Well, let's get on the right strings. And so this is set up where you have to play it with a claw. Most of the time I set up songs where you can play it with your thumb or your claw, but the tough acts here definitely requires claw because you've got a 2 on the top and a 0 and nothing in between. So making your thumb doesn't make any sense. And you'll see a lot of tablature on the internet. You can go download it, it's free, right? People have posted up there. And a lot of times you'll see tablature like this where you've got a 2 and a 0 and nothing in between. Well, you can't use your thumb then. You just have to use these 2 fingers, whichever 2 make the most sense for you. So here's where you want to put on that chord, right? You put on the whole chord, and now your thumb and probably middle finger are going to be ready to play. Pinky up, and then you're going to have to trade out your pinky and go grab your middle finger here to get that 2. And then slide it up to the 3 and put on a 2. And then again, grab the 2. B7. And then slide up to the 3, 2, 2. Grab that 2 again. That's going into the repeat. You'd play that a second time, and then the second half of the song a little bit more challenging because of that D chord. It gets really messy in there. So let's go look at that. Go to measure 9. Got the same thing. 2 with the 0 on the bottom. So I'm going to go 2, 3, and then slide up to my 5. And then slide out, grab your 7, and then I'm going to play all 3 of these zeros plus my 7. And then go grab your middle finger on those other 7s, just like you did before. Pinky, middle, pinky ring, sorry, and then slide back down, and it's the same as when you were down here, but now you're on 4s and 5s, and you're going to have to find a finger to get to this 5. Middle finger's ready to go. Pinky up on 7. We'll grab the other 7 with the pinky. You're still holding your 5 down here. And then slide down to 2, 3. And then 5, 3. B7. Song repeats. So we won't play that. That's your homework, right? If those of you guys in book 3, this for Elise is ready to go on Friday. Tomorrow we play it. Okay, so you have the rest of the day to get that one together. If you just play melody, it's fine. If you want to make your life more fascinating, then you would play the tough acts. Okay, so let's talk very briefly about tomorrow before we sneak out of here. DenverGuitarOrchestra.com. Home. So tomorrow we're going to play all the songs from the week. It's been a little bit of a short week. Last Friday, the YouTube failed us, so we played our concert last week for last Friday on Monday, which means we've only had 3 days this week to get in the new songs. So most important thing, if you're book 1, you can kill Frère Jacques. That's the important song. Okay. If you're book 2, you got Hokey Pokey, Hush Little Baby, and Itsy Bitsy Spider. All of those have very, very different skill sets that you're bringing to it. And so, and none of those songs are songs you're going to play long term, right? But you're working on building the skill set. Once you're like, yeah, I can play that, you are not going to memorize those songs, but you are wanting to know the skill set in them. And then those of you in book 3, you've had a nice week, right? We have a Studio by E minor. That thing should just flow out of your guitar like a guitar player wrote it. For He's a Jolly Good Fellow, that one's mostly about learning how to read repeats, but it's also one we'll have a little fun with tomorrow. We'll play it loud and bang on the guitar and really turn it into a celebration. And then we have one of the great pieces, musical pieces of all time for Elise, was written for piano. It transferred very nicely onto guitar because when the chord structure makes sense, it plays on almost every instrument, right? It it will play on every instrument. And so for Elise, sounds great on all of the instruments, and particularly on guitar, it just plays in here real nice. Measure 11 can be a bit of a booger, but outside of that, this is a really nice piece of music. And so we're going to play all that stuff tomorrow. It's Thursday, so tonight, don't forget, we are going to meet for the Book 4 workshop at 8 o'clock tonight, Mountain Standard Time. We are going to play Yesterday, Blackbird, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I'm working on, what am I going to add to it? Probably next week I will add in Here Comes the Sun. That was my next thought, was to toss that in. We're going to do a lot of Beatles this season. I'd like to get a nice collection of those available. And then we have that one super secret song, which those of you guys that want to have standard notation, you got your opportunity. So tonight we will play that song. We studied it last week. We'll play it this week. And then next week we'll get a new super secret song. And I actually like this super secret song and the one coming after next week so quite a lot. I have 3 songs. The middle one is like kind of like a scale, but the other 2 are really nice. So, and the one we're doing tonight is really nice. So that's what I know about, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Be good, be safe, be safe, practice, and show up. I'm going to shorten that little conversation. I'm shortening my little end of the thing down. If you haven't forgot to push thumbs up, do that. And I will see all of you guys either later today or tomorrow for concert. So get all your stuff ready for tomorrow's concert, and or tonight. Tonight you also have Beatles. So actually you have a busy day of it, right? You should focus and get all that stuff together. Pauline, good to see you. Evelyn, always something to learn. I always learn stuff when I'm playing. E minor, right? E minor, best thing in the world, best chord in the world on the second best I shouldn't say it that way. Second best instrument. See you tonight, Vic. Have a great day. Pauline, you're welcome. Nancy, good to see you. And we love the Beatles songs. We do love the Beatles songs, right? It's not a band that I followed growing up at all. And I guess as I'm writing out the music for all this stuff, I'm a little surprised at the passion for the Beatles, but I didn't grow up with them. And so I am delighted that those of you guys that did grow up with them are finding it meaningful and fun. So I will see all of you guys a little later. Have a wonderful day. Off we go.